I've got to admit, I was a little hesitant when Let's Resin reached out and asked me to try these new molds because it's just not usually my thing. But holy guacamole, these are adorable and they don't even look like resin. Let me show you. This is going to be a super short video. I just wanted to show off these molds by Let's Resin and give you a small sampling of what you can do with them and how cute they are. What we've got here is a teddy bear and an axolotl. I think that's how you say it. Don't quote me on that. But they're not just any mold, but they look like crochet. I grew up crocheting with my mom and grandma, so I had to try it. I'm going to dust the insides of these with some of my mica powders. These are chameleon color shifting pigments, and I'm just going to use some soft bristled brushes. You could also use makeup brushes to paint on your pigments. Just briefly, I thought what a good idea it would be to add eyes to these molds. But my eyes were too big and I couldn't get them to adhere because they just didn't fit in the little eye holes. So we skipped the eyes and we're just going for the mica pigment. We're going to start with the bear mold, and you just got to make sure you get it in all those little nooks and crannies. I'm just thinking we need a blue bear. Isn't this chameleon powder gorgeous? And then I decided I would also try some of my chameleon flakes by Let's Resin because they're really cool color shifting too. However, I didn't turn my fan off in the studio and the flakes were flying. Finally, I turned the fan off and applied that, and I think that helped make a big difference in the final look. For my axolotl, am I saying that right? I don't know. I'm going to use the carmine red chameleon powder. And you just have to be sure to get in there in those little gill spots and make sure you get those covered too. I'll make sure I list all of the supplies along with these molds down in the description box below my video. And now that those are completely coated in mica powder, I'm going to move on and start mixing my casting resin. Make sure that you wear protective gear when you're working with resin. I've got my gloves, I've got my mask, I've got ventilation, and I've got my air purifier. This is a deep pour resin made just for casting. You can pour about 4 inches deep with this at one time, and it's a 2-to-1 resin. You're just going to mix that thoroughly until it is all blended and one transparent color. Clear, specifically clear. And then because we want those mica pigments to pop, we're gonna make the resin a dark color. So I'm just using some black epoxy pigment along with some black mica powder. Gonna blend that in really good. And I just want you to look at my air purifier and look how high the VOCs are in this room right now. This is why you need to wear protective gear. But the great thing is it's going to filter it out fairly quick, especially if I get my window open and turn that fan back on. I'm not going to bother degassing this resin. I'm not too worried about the bubbles. And a great thing about Let's Resin molds is they always put the volume on the outside of the mold so you know how much to mix and pour. This resin takes about 48 hours to fully cure. You can see there's some bubbles on the underside, but I am not going to worry about their little booties. And you can see my VOCs are starting to drop. This air purifier is a must-have if you're working with resin, in my book anyway. They are ready to demold. Look at the detail. They look like they have been crocheted. The attention to detail is stunning. And I love the color shifting powder. He's so cute. We're gonna give him a little boop on the nose. Now let's demold our little crazy creature axolotl here. I mean, even this is adorable. I wasn't even gonna pour this to begin with. I just decided to go for it. It's so cute. I think one of my grandkids might actually like this. I wanted to take them out in the light and show you how they look different in different light because we use that color shifting mica powder. But anyway, I love these molds. This would make a perfect mold to get for someone that loves resin casting in your life. I really think they're the cutest molds ever. I hope you all have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video. Happy crafting!